Good evening. I'm meteorologist Bill Martin. We've got the evening version of the forecast, a little longer, a little more protracted. We'll look at some surf. We'll look at earthquakes. We'll look at the fog. We'll look at how hot it got today and the cooling trend that's coming our way. Temperatures are going to trend down. Today was the hottest or warmest day of the week. And then tomorrow, temperatures drop off and drop off further. Some places today, actually, like along the coast, were a little bit cooler. It's because the fog did not go away. It was clear for a while out at Ocean Beach, and the fog came back in. And you're looking at a live picture here from Ocean Beach. And let's see if I can point it out here. Here's Mount Tam. I think you can see it. It may not be in your screen. But this is the Golden Gate Bridge in here. And then there's that finger of fog shooting across towards Alcatraz Island. Today, San Francisco was just 65 degrees. Yesterday, San Francisco upper 70s, low 80s last couple of days. Well, right now it's 65 degrees, and that is as of 3:15 this afternoon. Sacramento, as of 3:15 this afternoon, is 90 degrees. Fresno, 89. Santa Monica, 72. So a beautiful day. There's a little southerly surge, so the fog came back about 8 hours earlier than expected, but this is the beginning of the cool down. So that's where we're heading. Temperatures cool down, and by the weekend, there's a pretty good opportunity for scattered showers. Snow up around Mount Shasta, I would suspect, and rain up around Crescent City, and the showers could extend further south to the Bay Area. And of course, the wine growers not liking this at all, right? Because I'm not savvy on all the wines, but I know you like to leave them on the vines, some of the grapes, and they may have to pull grapes. I know one winery that's going to be, I think they're going to be pulling grapes on Friday. I imagine a few will be. So anyway, these are the current temperatures as of, again, about 3:15, 3:18. So cooler along the coast, that onshore breeze, right? So there's this onshore breeze. And then 70 out at, let's call that out by the ballpark. 93 degrees in San Rafael, warm in Marin. 84 degrees out towards, where are you there? You're kind of Nicasio-ish. And then 83 out towards Antioch. So this is one of those days, again, where you're seeing a lot of your temperatures in the inland bay valleys a little cooler, or pardon me, a lot of the temperatures in the big inland valleys like Sacramento at 88 degrees, cooler than some of these more coastal valley spots. Yesterday, San Francisco and Sacramento were like 2 degrees apart. They were both in the low 80s, right? So the microclimates get washed out. So we'll pull back. There's a lot of numbers. California River Forecast Center, California Nevada River Forecast Center. And you just get a feel. I wish I had better, but you can see there's some low 90s up by Elk Grove. The mountains, you see the temperatures cool as you go up, which makes nothing but sense. What do we got there? Roseville, 88 degrees. Let's go all the way north. It was cold this morning. We had temperatures in Tahoe, Lake Tahoe this morning, that in Truckee area, around 28, 29 degrees. Frost in many areas last couple of mornings, and up around Mount Shasta. Temperature today, there's Redding, Lake Shasta, and then Mount Shasta. Where is it? Kind of confused on my map here. I think we're right in here somewhere. So mid 70s in that drainage basin. So, warmer today. Started off cool up in those areas up into the mid 30s. And then we work our way south down towards my friends in Southern California. And it's just a perfect fall day. Air quality is unreal for this time of year. Really good. So I'm just trying to get all the numbers in here. These are temperatures, again, as of, there's Santa Barbara. Temperatures today as of about 3:30 or so. So there you go, right? And then we're going to Southern California where the weather has been absolutely perfect. And as we've said before, fall weather in California, although fall weather everywhere, right? It's really nice, and that's what we've got. So here's the fog back up at the coast. You can see clearing at Cape Mendocino, Point Arena, Point Reyes, right? Pigeon Point, Point Lobos. And you can see the fog just kind of sucking right in. Shallow marine layer, real dense right along the coast, squishing through the Golden Gate Bridge. It comes back in earnest, not so much the marine layer, but the marine flow as this weather system that's up in here starts to kick up the winds more onshore. The winds become less offshore and temperatures will drop. Tomorrow it'll be very noticeable, the temperature drop, and even more so as we go into Thursday and Friday. And then by Friday night, Saturday, maybe a sprinkle. You'll see that in the models. Here's the top of Palisades, Tahoe, some alto cumulus, fair weather clouds. Temperature today, like I said, Lake Tahoe, and upper 60s, low 70s. Beautiful fall day. No snow, but yeah, they might get some snow flurries up here on Friday night. We'll see. And then this is Mount St. Helena. This is Napa Valley. High temperatures in the Napa Valley today in the 80s, even some mostly mid 80s, upper 80s. And let's see if we can cook it around here. This is as about 3 o'clock today. And now we're looking towards the north. So we're kind of looking towards, that sounds, yeah, I guess that is north. So we're looking towards north. So you're looking up towards like Cobb Mountain, in those areas up towards Lake County, where temperatures were in the 70s today as well. This is Lake Tahoe. Light winds, beautiful lake, same alto cumulus clouds we saw in Palisades. South Lake Tahoe, no snow as of yet. Air quality stunning for this time of year. Pasadena, there you go, another beautiful shot. Good air quality. We talk about it, how that place used to not be so great for air quality, Southern California. Pasadena was a little bit up on the hill, so it wasn't as bad, but unleaded gasoline. Emissions restrictions in the 70s, early 70s really made a difference down there. It made a difference everywhere, really. Here's the fog from Mount Tamalpais, right over 2,300 feet up. So you're up there. And you've got the fog spilling into Mill Valley, where temperatures today were in the mid and upper 70s, but much cooler as that fog starts to spill in. For a lot of reasons. There's a low offshore and there's a thermal gradient that's created as that high weakens up. These are the highs forecast for, I think these are these are today's numbers. And then what you're going to see is, and what I want you to see, our highs tomorrow are going to be cooler. So you like today? Today's awesome, but it wasn't too hot, but it was like, I could use a few degrees off. Okay, there you go. 80 degrees in Sacramento, 70 in San Francisco, 86 in Fresno. It's a really classic fall day, but cooler, lower temperatures. So that's Wednesday. Thursday, lower temperatures still on Friday and Saturday. Temperatures will drop into the 60s. I think we'll not see any 80s really right through the weekend. So a milder pattern. And it's because of this low. Here we are. GFS, Vorticity map. And this is the 18Z run. So you can kind of see this is where we are through tomorrow afternoon. And there's a little bit of energy that will give us a good push. So here's where we were today. See that ridge? See, there's that little cutoff low here, but the main ridge is up here. And that's why we're staying warm and getting the kind of we're getting the slight onshore breezes. I suspect this low has a little bit to do with that southerly surge that we saw the fog a little earlier. And then this main low is going to be the big impactor with cooling, there's a fire danger, and perhaps some scattered showers. And so this is on Wednesday afternoon. So tomorrow's a nice day, just cooler. And then you'll start to see more clouds. And by Thursday afternoon, showers up around Crescent City, Fort Bragg, Point Arena. Keep an eye on that. And then by Friday afternoon, right there, that low. See, it's just, so with that low around, first of all, it's going to rain or not, Bill? Well, when we get to the sea level pressure and precipitation, we'll see there's going to be some in the area. But the main thing to know is this low right here. I'm just rocking it back and forth. This is right through, this is Thursday through Friday and Saturday and into Sunday a little bit. As long as that stays over us, we're below, at least below average temperatures and unsettled. So in terms of dangerous heat wave, high fire concerns, not seeing that right now, which is an awesome thing. So that's what we're watching. We'll come in close now. This is sea level pressure, and the blue represents some scattered showers. You see the dashed lines, those are thicknesses, and those thicknesses dropping down. This is 12Z on Thursday. Okay, so, I'm sorry, 12Z. It's 5 a.m. on Thursday. And then Thursday night into Friday morning. So Thursday is a cooler day. You saw those dashed lines coming our way. That's advecting cooler air our way. And then this area here represents our system dynamics, which you know, Friday afternoon. Looks like it wants to throw up a few scattered showers, maybe Marin County. Look at Southern California, you guys. What's going on down there, right? That's some of that subtropical moisture that we've been watching. So they're going to have there. So both ends of the state kind of getting a little bit of a shot at some scattered showers. It'll be warm down south, certainly, because that's subtropical moisture. And then there's Saturday morning, and then there's Saturday afternoon, and then more kind of something, right? Tuesday morning. So and something else right there. This shows up on one of the models. This is 12Z on Wednesday. So really, what we're saying is warmest day today. Last 2 days have been awesome. Tomorrow, cooler but nice. Thursday, cooler, a little breezy, cooler than tomorrow. Cool, a little cooler on Thursday, nice. And then kind of scattered showers in the forecast, mainly north and far south as we go into Friday, Saturday. Here is the North American model. And what do you see here? This is Thursday morning, Southern California. Different model, same times, more granular. And so you can see how close everything comes. So what do you do with that? LA, right, down, or Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Joshua Tree. You guys, there's thunderstorms in your future. And then up north, you can see that signature comma Friday afternoon. That looks like the sweet spot for a chance for showers in the Bay Area, and as far south as Santa Cruz. So, I mean, let's just ride it out. Let's just go through the next couple of days and see how they transpire. The weekend, if you got weekend plans, if you're north of Santa Rosa, yeah, you got to kind of pay attention to some scattered showers, especially if you're getting married or something. And then this is the moisture coming off these tropical storms. Most of it is getting sheared. Here's the little trough, and then here's that ridge while we're warm, and there's a trough here. These are upper level winds, and those upper level winds are affecting the surface features, which is this subtropical moisture. But some of this gets up here, as we showed you in the model, gets up here into Southern California as we go into the weekend. So we'll keep an eye on that too. So a little bit of everything. We call this a transition season, right? Spring's a transition season, fall's a transition season, transitioning in this case from summer to winter. And when you're transitioning, you get exactly what we're seeing. None of this is unusual at all. The watches and warnings around the country. Hope you had a good day, by the way. I'm doing one in the morning. I'm going to do that one in the morning just a little bit shorter, I think this morning was 13 minutes. I'm going to try to get it down to like 6 minutes. That way I don't have to throw a bunch at it. In other words, this takes a little time, and because I got stuff I got to do. But I think in the morning, if I can just hit the models and get you going, and then in the night, if you got time, you can sit back and do the cavalcade of weather and live cameras and the stuff that we do like to do. I do like to do it. This is freeze warnings, freeze watches. These are tonight and tomorrow for U.S. And what is this about? Is that wind up in Rhode Island? Let's see. Hazardous weather outlook. What do they got going up there? I should know. Gusty winds. Yeah. Gusty winds. So freeze warnings, freeze watches, some rain stuff down around New Mexico, air quality stuff again in Texas, and some smoke down there. And then some rain stuff showing up in the Ohio Valley. These would be the forecast highs. Oh, wouldn't that be nice to get that truck? Wow. There it is. It's a nice car, man. I don't know if I can make it go. Oh, it says close right there. Watch this. I'm pilfering these guys. This is the Weather Channel. I like this map, though. These are the forecast highs for tomorrow. And these are surface numbers, surface map. But whenever I draw in that line, usually it's the jet stream, right? So that's upper level. So we're looking at multiple levels. This is up at 15,000 feet, and then this line, right, the jet stream, like so it would look like this, and then the temperatures are obviously down on terrestrial. So the ridge of high pressure, that's why it's so warm. Bit of a trough here, that's why it's cooler, and you can kind of see where the trough is based on the milder temperatures. So nice day tomorrow for pretty much most of us. That's why the national watches and warnings map is kind of benign, right? Not a lot going on. Below average temperature starting October 12th through the 16th. Well below average in Idaho. Right? I know enough about we know enough about the models to know. I mean, of course, what I'm thinking when you see something like that, you're going, okay, with big trough out here, right? Cooler air there, and then warmer air here. That's how the pattern would look. That's what the jet stream would look like. But we'll see. That's a ways out. And then they're showing below average rainfall, and down for Central California, and above average for Southern California. Okay, this starts again October 12th through the 16th. Earthquakes, because we live in a place where there's earthquakes. This is the last day, and these are magnitude 4.5 or bigger, or 4.5 or bigger, and you can kind of see what goes on. So it's pretty busy. 4.5. There's nothing to sneeze at. Let me get closer to us. 4.5 is like, that's decent earthquakes. You don't see anything on our continent, but we do have earthquakes that have gone off above 2.5. So here's the last day. Bill, why do you do the earthquakes? Because I think it's healthy to pay attention to them, because it's the earth, right? It's kind of talking to us, right? The plates are always moving. We act so surprised when we have earthquakes, but yet California has had how many earthquakes today? 6 earthquakes. This one earthquake in Alum Rock down by San Jose was a 2.7. These are all 2.5 or above. Triple Point had 2.5 up by Petrolia. They are nothing but earthquakes. Los Angeles, let's see what Los Angeles, Castaic, oh yeah, we saw that this morning. It was a 2.6. So earthquakes, that's the plates move. They bump into each other. They build up strain. They loosen strain. It's just nonstop. Live in California. It's going to cost a lot. You're going to get sunburn if you don't wear sunscreen. You can golf year round. Oh, and you got a buttload of earthquakes. And that's always going to happen. So, yeah, we're waiting for, and some are bigger than others. But what's interesting is, to me, is like this one over here, east of South Korea, 5.1. It does feel like most of since we've been doing this, I'm not a geologist, but you look at all the quakes we see here, we're very busy on the west coast of the United States. And again, 70% of the world's earthquakes occur here, but like 90% of the big ones, because this is a subduction zone, the ring of fire, and those subduction quakes are more powerful. This is the forecast surf. I surfed yesterday. I was going to surf today, but that southerly surge came in, and I kind of thought it could, but I was hoping it wouldn't. And that's because of that little low that was off there. But it creates, when the southerly surge comes, it pulls the fog up. The atmospherics really wanted the fog to stay south, but the surface gradient became such, the temperature gradient became such that the fog just creeps up along the coast. Water temperature's warm though. I was out. I have an old wetsuit. I usually get cold really easy, an old guy. But I have an old wetsuit I wore for the first time in a long time, and with holes in it, and I was so happy because it was so warm. There were a couple guys out in the water yesterday, Ocean Beach. A couple guys skinning it, like shorts. I was like, one was on a stand-up board, so I was like, you're not in the water. But props to that. Props to that. Okay, so it's swell forecast. Nothing monumental. But there's swell in the water. You see this area, big storm center here. Look at those. That's big stuff. Let's see, it's 24 foot, 14 seconds. Estimated 22 feet, 14 seconds again. So, let me turn this off. So that still looks like it stays up in the Aleutians. But it's just showing me and you and everybody else that activity has resumed. The storm center, where our storms are born, most of our winter storms, the engine comes from the Aleutians. The Aleutian low was what we used to call it. I think they still call it the Aleutian low. We have a Pacific high that dominates the weather pattern in the summer. You're supposed to. Didn't really do as much as you'd expect this on the Pacific high, a surface and upper air weather feature, and then you've got the Aleutian low, which is up the Aleutian Islands, which generates our wintertime stuff, which is awesome. Okay, Ocean Beach, there's that onshore flow I was talking about. The swell's kind of fun. Nobody out, but fog is back in. A lot of sea life. I get a lot of, you guys send me lots of cool video from like Pacifica, Santa Cruz, and you probably see them as well, but lots of whales right now. I like for earlier this year, I was down with Dad, and we literally were watching. I'd never seen this. I think in the spring, I'd never seen so many anchovies. Like, I mean, I'd seen like 82, I remember, but it was one of the busiest. I think the last time I remember it was like this was like 82. But either way, the sea life was going off. This is Halema, and please go visit the Halema Beach store and get a Halema burger because they're really good, actually. The burgers are. This is Halema today. Some folks out. That's kind of fun. Tip of Point Conception. Beautiful spot. And then this is Malibu. And talked about the river rocks yesterday. That is fun. Beaches are awesome. I love finding things. I was just thinking about like everybody does it, but it never gets old. Walking on the beach, finding cool stuff. It's like, because I think it's because the tide changing and the swell. It's not like going in your backyard and looking at stuff because it doesn't, maybe a little change. But when you go here, it changes quite a bit, right? With the tides and the swell direction and the swell. So you're always perhaps going to find a gold doubloon or some message in a bottle or something like that. I think that's the thinking. This is Mount Shasta over 14,500 or 14,000, pardon me. And that's the snow. That's kind of the northwest side. But they're going to get some snow. I think Mount Shasta gets snow as we go into the weekend. Because that system, that low I showed you, it's going to be close enough to them. This is Whitney. Up and down California, if you get a chance, read that. Charles Brewer Road. I think Brewer named Whitney for the geologist, the very famous geologist Whitney. But they did an expedition out. The government sent them out right after the gold rush a few years later. And they went, Whitney and Brewer and some other ones, I can't remember the names. They went up and down California, and Brewer, who is kind of an awesome writer, he wrote about everything he saw. And so picture California post gold rush, but not quite industrial revolution, full speed ahead California, but just and they're looking. What they're doing is they're looking for new minerals, right? They're looking for the silver. They're looking for more gold, and so the government sent these guys out. So they literally combed over every bit of California was a state at this point, but they combed over every bit of the state looking. And so Brewer wrote literally about everything he saw, and I really do enjoy. It's a great. Sorry, guys. It's a really great book. But I can skip it. Let's just watch the mattress ad. It's a really great book because he is so meticulous about marking things down, seeing things, and he's kind of culturally, kind of like being a cultural geographer. Talks about the Native Americans, and unfortunately, not. He shows a lot of racism. Sadly, we've talked about the Native Americans in California and how horrible that is, and that the filter of the time, you kind of see it, so that's not so great. But it's also important to see that that's how these people were thinking, right? So he was not very flattering to all of the Native Americans. Some he was, but okay. So here we are, New York Harbor Cam. I was talking to somebody the other day about the Native American Californians, and I love this state, and it's the only thing. Well, there's other things, but it's one of the things that really bums me out because your family, my family, can't see any evidence that my family was involved in anything bad, but it's just like a lot of complicit Californians back in the 1800s when they were putting bounty on these Native Americans so that they could get their land and use them for slave labor. It's horrible. It's horrible, and I got no words to describe that. But yeah, New York Harbor, right? Beautiful day. 79 degrees, and it's 6:41 at night. This is hot. There you go, Statue of Liberty cam. And you're right. The person who wrote to me, that's beautiful, isn't it? Somebody wrote me and said, hey, listen, I said, I got the Statue of Liberty cam, and it was looking out over the bay as a different shot. And they go, no, dude, I think the camera's on the Statue of Liberty. And so this is day 2 or day 3 later, and it's like, yeah, it's on the Statue of Liberty. That's a beautiful shot, though. Oh, I think we can see the Statue of Liberty in this shot here, can't we? Right there? Isn't that Statue of Liberty right there? I think it is. Yeah. I guess it's not. Oh, they moved it. I'll be damned. Statue of Liberty torch cam. All right. I think we may be done. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's see what else we got live. Okay, this is a magic window. This is Ellis Island, right? Famous for immigration, 75 degrees, 6:42 at night. New York, beautiful night. Days are getting shorter fast. You know, September, like New York and those areas lost, like in the month of September, New York lost like an hour and 15 minutes of daylight. And we're continuing to lose daylight. It becomes more rapid as we get towards the equinox. Okay. I didn't want that. And then we'll look at Venice Beach because it's, I don't care who you are. It's just entertaining. It's the same shot. The guy who runs the camera or the camera is awesome. Everybody's got a dog. Okay, so little area there. So what do we know? We know that it's going to be cooler tomorrow. Today was awesome, but the fog's back and the onshore winds calm. So that's tomorrow. That's Wednesday. Then Thursday, Friday, cooler still, milder, 60s, 70s, but a chance of showers shows up. And even some snow up around Mount Shasta and Lake Shasta area at the higher elevations. And that happens on Friday night into Saturday and Sunday. So right now the weekend is in question a little bit, especially Northern California. And then you saw Southern California's weekend, right? So if we go, let's see if I can find Southern California stuff. This was the one I was thinking about. So when we go, watch down in South, right here. Sorry, there it is. That is Southern Cal. Well, that's Northern California, and that's Southern California on Friday afternoon, Saturday. Southern California basically being the inland valleys. So we'll keep an eye on it for you. That's awesome. I'll see you back here. I'm going to do a quick one tomorrow morning, and then I'll try to do one in the evening like this. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, and I appreciate it. It's fun. You guys are awesome. Talk to you soon.